Welcome, welcome. This is episode 76. If not, I'll put a note in of the Three of Skeins Knitting and Crochet podcast. And how are you today, Crystal? Yeah, it's that kind of day. What can you do? Well, I will get started with my project because I have come to a significant milestone. I've connected the shoulders. I've got like a whole sweater now, sans sleeves. So I will be merrily getting on to Sleeve Island. I'm thinking like 3/4.
That's not short.
I know, but I don't know. I want a longer sleeve on it. And I will be inserting a picture of it on. I like the fit. I like the length. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's on the right side. Yes, it's on the right side. I got to get used to the reverse stockinette side being the outside of the sweater. But overall, I am loving it. And I'm planning to do the sleeves 2 at a time. So probably this evening, I will be picking up both of my sleeves. So I'll start on the back side of one, go on to the other one, and come down the fronts. And then just knit them 2 at a time. So that when one sleeve is finished, both sleeves will be finished, and I'll have a much better chance of them being the exact same length. And I'm working this in Barocco Ultra Wool, and I don't remember the color name, but it's one of the many reds that they have. But that's what's going on with my weekender sweater. The end is in sight. What do you got, Chris?
I've been working on my dress, sort of. I didn't do any work on it last week because I had a neck thing going on, but I'm questioning some of the decisions I made, and it's like a whole thing. But I'm just gonna just keep going with it, and we'll just see how it turns out. Okay, so this is what I have. There we go.
Oh, I love that fabric.
And this is only like 5.5 inches. The whole front is supposed to be like 20-something inches. So as you can see,
it's gonna be a minute.
I've barely gotten anywhere. I'm using a 3.5mm hook. I wanted to use a slightly bigger hook because if you make a bigger loop, it's easier to get the sequins through.
Yeah,
turns out. And I'm using, well, there's really not much left on the skein to see, but this is Cotton Gold from Universal, and then I'm also using this, it's called Tetsu from Ito, and it is silk and stainless steel, which you really need to add support to the sequin yarn. It's so much easier to work with, you know, this added in, but don't try to frog. Don't try to frog something with sequins. So I just realized I dropped the stitch, so I just added it back in because there was no going back and correcting that, which is normally what I would do. I just rip out a couple of rows and, you know, make, because I like my counts to be correct.
You see how she said that?
So, but yeah, you really can't rip out with these sequins. Every once in a while, if I really need to rip out and I'm having a hard time, I just snip the sequin off.
Wow, for real?
Yeah, because the sequin just has a hole in the center. So you don't have to cut the thread. You can just cut the sequin to that hole. And
oh, brilliant.
Yeah. And there's plenty enough sequins that you don't miss any. But, yeah, I don't...
So what decisions are you questioning? What's going on with that?
I wanted it to be just like a little bit tapered, and I don't know that I needed it to be tapered at all, quite frankly, because I'm doing such a little bit that it's only going to come in a total of like 3 inches.
Right.
So I felt like I could have just left that off and made it 3 inches narrower and just save some yarn that way. If this was something I could rip out, I would probably rip it out and start over. But can't frog a sequin, honey.
Oh.
It's to get it back out the loop. Now, once you pull that loop tight,
That's it.
No, that's
Okay.
not happening. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice fabric.
I think it's a gorgeous fabric. Oh my gosh. It sparkles like a
I'm
night
toying
sky.
with the idea of doing color blocking. I bought a second color of this sequin yarn, and I will probably decide by the time it gets here whether I'm gonna, because I realize I'm not gonna have enough of the purple to make the whole dress, because I only bought I think 5 balls. I will probably need somewhere around 6 or 7. So I bought some more of the purple, but I also bought kind of like a gray with silver sequins, and I might do like big color blocks, but I don't know. I'm trying to picture it in my head, and I don't know. Had I been thinking about it, I would have probably done narrow stripes. I think that would have looked really cute, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm feeling very fickle, so, but it's going well enough.
Okay. That wasn't as, when you said you were questioning all your decisions, it sounded like it was much.
Some of my decisions.
My bad.
But the shaping and, whether or not I wanted to use 2 colors, I don't know. Because initially I was just like, oh, a purple dress would be like great because I love purple. But maybe I will just keep it purple. I don't know. I feel like switching yarns with the sequins could be a hassle.
Oh no.
So it'll probably just be a purple dress. But
So if you start to work with the silver sequin also, will you have to change your base thread color?
No, I would just leave it purple since I'm gonna have the purple anyway. I would, even if there's little flecks of purple through the gray section.
It would just kind of make
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Actually, I think that would be really nice.
Don't confuse me.
I'm not trying to confuse you, but
Clearly,
I'm
I'm
like,
already struggling.
oh.
But yeah, that's all I've been working on, because but I have like a lot of other things in my head, and I just feel like I'm not going fast enough. So I'm going to try to really like make some progress on the dress.
You can only go but so fast on a 3.5 millimeter hook.
Yada yada.
I'm just gonna interject that.
Okay, yada, because we just gonna keep it going. We're gonna put on something probably not that interesting on Netflix, and we're just gonna binge our way through this dress, because I got other things I need to get to. Some of the yarns I got at the wool wall.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Friday video that came out before this one, you'll see our wool walk haul. I gotta get to some of those yarns, and I gotta start on some of my summer projects. And
Yeah, it's hard because I also have projects clawing at me, and when I talk about them around the house too much, you know what I get told? You better not start anything new, Lisa.
because you can't.
But I have taken a vow. I'm not going to start anything new until I have at least one project finished.
Y'all heard it, right? Okay.
I can always come back with a tearful apology.
You heard her. Okay.
Wow, okay. Just put me on the spot. But yeah, that is the plan. I already have projects in motion, so once one of them is off the needles, there won't be a new project. So I made some progress on the blanket. This thing is so big.
It'll
Now,
take a minute.
as you guys know,
Oh my God.
I had to do
Where
I had to do some
is
repairs.
it even?
There it is. I had to do some repairs first, so that was the first step. And now I have started. Let me shake that. I have gotten a good bit of actual embroidery done. I am so happy with this. Can you see what it looks like? Is it fuzzy? I'll take a picture if I need to.
There we go.
I'm so happy with it. I love how the colors are coming out. I can feel a difference in the surface fabric already because it's just being bolstered up by adding some more fiber to it. So the next thing I need to do is draw some more lines, because that is actually the devilish thing. I've got some tailor's chalk because that was really the only thing I could see consistently. And I've started drawing the lines in blue tailor's chalk, which is great. But as you I have to handle it in order to do the stitching. And as you handle it, you kind of rub away this tailor chalk. So I have to get into a rhythm where I draw some lines, do some stitching, and then...
Why didn't you start with something smaller?
Because this is what needed to be fixed, and this was the method I chose to fix it.
Right, but like to start the technique, to learn the technique, why didn't you start with...
You know what? I'm sure that's what sensible people do. I am very sure that's what sensible people do. But what I said to myself was, oh, by the time you get done with this, you'll have such go down.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went in my mind. So that is what I'm doing. What I'm doing also is alternating my colors so that I put a white stitching line in between each color because I feel like it makes it pop a bit. And I'm in love. I'm really, really happy with it. So far, I'm getting my corners sharper. That was what was hard for me at first. You have to kind of go under the point where they're gonna cross and then come back again and then change direction. And that's how you get a nice sharp corner without the stitches getting a little funky. And all I'm doing to secure my ends is I'm stitching back over the place I've already stitched and then burying the end inside and then cutting it off. And that way I have a very clean back of the quilt because I'm not quilting all the way through the fabric. But that's the 2 projects I'm working on. You see, I'm not just a mad starter of projects right now.
Where's the shawl? Okay. The silence is deafening. Anyway.
So what is clawing at you so much that you're already like caught up on it?
Like all my summer stuff that I want to make. I have ideas for tank tops and like crop tops and shorts, and I really have, for some reason I'm stuck on making a skirt with ruffles. And I'm like seeing it in my head and it's haunting me. But basically all the stuff I want to make for the summer.
Yeah. I want to make summer things too. I've been collecting summer yarn.
Yeah,
and that's where my brain is.
If you watch the haul, it's a lot of linen, cotton happening over there. Very little wool, because I guess I was very summer minded.
So I actually have a plan for a summer tank sort of thing. And I think that might be the first thing I start after I get the sweater off my needles. And the next thing after that will be Rachel's duck sweater.
So what is your timeline for the shawl?
I'll be working on that in the background.
What is your timeline for the shawl? When do you anticipate,
Oh, having it finished? I didn't make a timeline for it.
Oh.
It'll just be like haunting in the background. But I do plan to put a little bit of work on it, regularly. But what I have done, and you know what? I would like my gold star.
You can't ask for a gold star.
Yeah,
you either earn it or you don't.
I think you should. I would like this for your consideration for the issuance of a gold star. I have made a tracker in my bullet journal for the time I spend working on my various projects so I can see what is getting worked on, how much, and when. And I find that that's very helpful for me to manage my multiple projects. Because sometimes I just fall in love with something, that's all I want to do. And that does not lead to your other projects getting finished. Can you imagine?
I can't really.
So that's something I've been doing lately to just keep myself, accountable to my various projects. And it reinforces like, no, sweetheart, you can't start another project because
no ducks.
You got other things going on right now. Okay. I'm not able to work as monogamously as you do, but I find that I have to have some sort of way to keep myself, in check. Otherwise, it'd be startitis all over the place.
You say that like it's not now, but okay.
You think I couldn't start 5 more things?
5? Really?
Easily. You know all the things that are knocking on the
How
door
do
of
you
your
even have
mind?
enough project bags? Where would you keep them all?
They'd be everywhere. They would be everywhere.
Your queue should not need its own like storage unit.
I think everybody's queue could use a storage unit.
Mm.
Oh, but speaking of storage, we are making progress on the reorganization of our crafting space. I was just looking ahead. If you notice my head turn, we got some more yarn put away lately. It's really, I mean, at first I really wasn't seeing the progress. I was just like cajoling myself along. But now I can really see, you know, how far we've come, and we've just got like one little section to go, and the room would actually pretty much be straight. But we got a lot of craft stuff. We just pulled 3 bolts of fabric out of various hidey holes that just...
Not full bolts, you understand. Some of them have been used to various degrees, so, but, yeah.
We pulled 1 bolt, I think, out of the garage.
One is interfacing. We have a bolt of interfacing.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing. Because everyone has a bolt of interfacing in their attic.
Just hiding in the attic. We don't have ghosts. We have craft supplies. But I was glad we found it though. Crystal was like, "Ooh, it's like Alibaba's cave up in here."
It's a lot. It's a lot. But most of it gets used. Like sometimes, you know, around midnight, you're like, you know, I really need some interfacing. And you find some.
And then you can sleep again.
Pretty much.
But other than that, I think that's our major projects. We're still like I said, working on this room. It's the sorting. It's the sorting for me. And then you have to decide, am I gonna keep this? Because you know what? Sometimes you have like this project you envisioned at some point and you got all this stuff for it, and then it just didn't come to pass, and it's hard to let go of that stuff.
Like that bag. Mom had a bag.
Oh.
And she bought it like a million years ago and never used it. And then she kept trying to give it to
One of us. So we didn't have any use for it either.
You're just gonna have to get rid of it. It just has to go now.
But it was a nice, and that was a problem. It was a really nice bag.
It was for what? Sewing, quilting supplies.
Yes.
So you could have all your little fabric and all your things that you need for quilting would have been in the bag. And then there was like another bag that went with it that held big.
And it had compartments for like all of your tools and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the problem. It was such a nice bag. None of us could really part with it for years.
I had no trouble parting with it.
But it had the tag on it and everything. So we donated it. We donated it and said, okay, somebody somewhere will be happy to find this when they come upon it in the thrift store, wherever those things go. So that's this type of stuff. I'm actually, you know what? I was telling Mom, I'm thinking about doing a magazine call.
Oh, no, don't touch my magazine stuff.
No, just my magazine.
Okay. Don't do that.
I know, it's a thought. I don't know if that's actually going to happen.
I feel like the magazines are just fine where they are, and they don't really need to be messed with. But okay.
I have another stack of magazines hidden away.
Keep it hidden.
It's actually got a place, right? I have an entire box full of magazines.
Okay.
But they're in no particular order, no nothing.
So order them if you feel like it, but you know, I wouldn't get rid of them.
I know.
That seems extreme.
It felt extreme after I said it out loud. I thought it, and then I never took any action towards it, so I don't think it's actually going to happen. I might get them in order, though, or at least divide them up by whatever. Because I have, I don't know, a decade's worth of knitting magazines.
You should do a video with your magazines. Show people what you have.
Okay, let us know in the comments. You're interested in a tour?
They're definitely interested in magazines.
My knitting magazines?
They are.
Oh, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it doesn't feel hopeless anymore. I'm very happy with that.
I did a thing.
What did you do?
You know what? It's not my fault. The Craft Industry Alliance, I get their newsletter. And in the newsletter was an offer for Craftsy for a year for $1.50. And I was like, $1.50. So I clicked through the link. So you ever go to a website and then when you're going to leave the website, a pop-up comes up like, wait, don't go. So the wait, don't go pop-up came up. And they said, all right. We'll cut that in half, 75 cents.
No.
I was like, oh, 75 cents? I mean, it's almost a shame not to.
I mean, really?
And so I signed up for Craftsy. Well, I had to pay sales tax, so I paid 80 cents total.
Oh, okay.
But apparently they say a full year is something like $97. I was just like, people really paying that? I just feel like there's a disconnect between $97 a year and the $1.50 offer. I mean, if you're going to shave a little off the 97, you go to 87, 77, right? How
50
you go from
even, yeah.
97 to $1.50. So it seemed a little desperate. And then they got more desperate and said, all right, just give me some pocket change.
I want the lamp too.
So I gave them some pocket change. And I have to say, I was on Craftsy maybe almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those classes are the same. The crochet classes, I really mostly looked at the crochet classes. But I guess I assume some of these classes are newer.
Actually, no, because they're just getting geared up to start making classes again because they put out a call for teachers that want to do it.
Yeah, but the crochet selection was a little underwhelming. But I found a couple of things, like there's a class on Farrell crochet that I want to try because I'm intimidated by floats. So I'm gonna give that a shot because I don't really like tapestry crochet. You know, when you work over the thread in the other color because you can always see it.
Yeah.
And that's because, you know, on the if you're doing a single crochet stitch, the front of the stitch, the legs go like so, but on the back of the stitch, they're like this. So you have this little open space here,
yeah,
where you're gonna see that thread no matter what you do. So I think I would prefer to do that kind of intricate color work with Fair Isle instead of tapestry, because especially at a fingering weight, forget it, you're gonna see that thread through.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if I want to work that kind of color work at a fingering weight, I need to learn Fair Isle. So I'll try that class, a couple others, but they also have knitting, baking, drawing.
Do they have sewing?
Sewing.
You might be able to use some of the sewing classes.
So I feel like if I get one class out of it, I will have gotten my 75 cents.
At least, yes.
So I will be sampling Craftsy classes and letting you all know how they go for me. They seem a little longish actually, but we'll see. We'll check it out. We'll give it a shot. Also, I was up late.
Clearly.
Y'all should check out Premier Yarns because they have been getting closeouts from Universal. So they had some flax lace. If you want things that are not acrylic, but you don't want to spend obscene amounts of money,
Mm-hmm.
I think Premier Yarns is a good option. Because they're getting stuff from Universal, they just have a lot more variety. But again, the prices are reasonable, and some of the yarns they're even selling by the bag, so you can get 5. Like Mom likes this raffia yarn that they have, and they had a bag of 5 balls for $7.50. So definitely, and I think they're selling the linen in bags of 5 too.
Really? Oh, okay.
I have some of that linen. It's beautiful stuff. But yeah, so for beer yarns, get some nice non-acrylic yarn at reasonable prices. I think it's definitely worth a look. And if you sign up for their newsletters, you'll get heads up about sales and stuff. But when you go to their website and you go to sales, make sure you check all of them. It says there's weekly deals, there's clearance, and then there's like a third option. Make sure you check all three.
Oh, okay.
And then I think, I don't know if it was under that list or another section that was bag sales. So all the yarns that they're selling by the bagful will be on that page too. So just a little heads up. But don't be saying I made y'all buy yarn. I didn't.
Oh, it's
just
all
because
her.
I'm telling you about resources.
It's all
You're
her.
still gonna have to decide for yourself.
Okay,
so don't be up in nobody comments talking about, oh, this is your fault, Cryss. No.
If Crystal led you astray, please let us know.
No. See? Oh wow, the shade.
Because let me tell you, I was just picturing myself in my head on my phone looking at Premier's website.
This is just a suggestion. You can take it or leave it.
As soon as we're done filming this, I'm going to be looking at Premiere.
That's your choice. You are a free-thinking adult. But like I said, I just want to share some resources, and I guess we could put a link to Premier Yarn's website.
Yeah.
We don't get we get not a damn thing from them. I don't even get free shipping for telling y'all about this.
No.
So this is just genuinely, trying to offer you some options.
Because you know what? One of the comments that I saw a lot on our Wool Walk videos is, I wish I lived near yarn stores.
Yeah.
But the fact is, everybody doesn't live near a yarn store. We don't live particularly near yarn stores. We have two within 20 minutes, 30 minutes of us. But everything else is much further out. So if you're 6 or 7 hours from your nearest yarn store, online is really your best bet. So,
and this is a good deal on the same yarns you would find in a yarn store.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, it is up to you. But yeah, that's all that's going on with me.
How many books have you read this month, Crystal?
I don't know. I read through like a whole series.
Mm-hmm.
So I read through the Lockwood and Co. books. That was 5, and then I think I read a couple of books in between, and like maybe one manga.
Anything stand out for you?
I liked Lockwood and Co.
Yeah,
I did. I quite enjoyed it.
I just finished something called My Sister the Serial Killer, and it's my favorite book that I've read this year. I thought my favorite book for the year was going to be this other book I just finished.
You can't decide that this early in the
I
year.
know.
There shouldn't even be contenders until like September.
Thus far. But really, really interesting read, really fun. And I have just finished 2 volumes of that graphic novel I've been reading called Philadelphia. So those are some things you might consider while you're doing your work. I actually listened to My Sister the Serial Killer, and it really was like wonderful to sit and listen to it while I was doing my knitting and my stitching. But those are some things you can try. I think, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for us for this week. Thank you for joining us. And I should have said this in the beginning. Please like and subscribe.
Stay stitching.